Good morning, gang. Good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on where you are in the world when you're watching this. Welcome back to this week's Bitcoin update. First and foremost, remember, nothing discussed is financial advice. It's for educational purposes only, and it's my view of the markets. And now we've got that out of the way. Before we jump into the charts, big shout out to our partners over at BloFin. They've given our members a new deposit and trade bonus. But not only that, if you do sign up to these guys using our link in the description, you will get 20% off trading fees. That's irrelevant what tier you are on, whether you're a VIP or a standard tier, you will get 20% off your trading fees. So obviously, if you are interested in checking them out, this is the account that I use for my day trading. So yeah, if you fancy checking them out, link down in the description. Okay, now that's out of the way. Right. Bitcoin. It's been a fun old time since our last update. Obviously, we had that big move down, that we were here, another wick down, and then obviously we've bounced back up to here. So, first and foremost, before we jump into what levels I'm looking to trade next, okay, let's start off with just a little bit of free information for you guys. I want you guys to learn from this. These are just some of the trades that we've had in the group over the past week. Starting off, obviously, we had the Sunday night pump that we had here. Really simple trade was this. It actually was a trade that was planned out well in advance. And I think from last week's public stream that I did, I discussed this idea then. So if we just hide this, and it was really simple because we have this top range that we're looking at here. Okay, really nice and simple. We have a top range here to here to here, and you got your little deviation up here. Nice and simple range trading. Okay, you've got a lot of action around the EQ. You got the range lows, you got your range highs. Now, it's one thing I've been saying for a while. I am not interested in trading in this area here. And the reason why I'm not interested in trading in that area here is because it's very thin. Okay, this is what we showed on the last stream. The fact that you've got no volume within here. So you've got a really nice big cluster of volume up here. You've got a really nice cluster of volume down here. Even more if you drag this volume profile back to incorporate all of this range. But between this range and here, it's just thin air. Yes, there's a few support levels in there. You've got a few naked point of controls. But quite frankly, there's nothing in there that's highly confluent. So therefore, for me, I wasn't really interested in opening any trades down here at the lows. Okay? But if we stick to that same theme and then zoom back into what we were just looking at, let's just hide this volume profile and keep this range on. You can see here on Sunday, this was an absolute beautiful SR flip. Okay, we dropped down below here. We come back in. We reclaimed the range. We had a really nice, what looks like a running flat pattern here. And just for clarity, let's use the fib extension tool so you can see this. It's a really nice running flat pattern. Let's do the right levels, and you come back into the golden pocket of that. And obviously from that, then you started to make the move up. Obviously, once the move started moving up, that's when the whole Trump strategic reserve and all that crap came out, and obviously everyone got FOMO and chased the move up. Okay, now I'll be 100% transparent here. I actually did take a loss short in this. I believe it was around here. I did take a loss on this, and I said to the team, again, these are all transparent in the Discord, that I will cut this if we get above yearly open. So if we see this here, you got yearly open there, it got above yearly open, I cut this. And the reason why I was interested in cutting it there is because if we get back above yearly open, then that's a completely different trade idea. And you can see that obviously here. So I did get stopped out of a trade here. So yes, I do take losses. Again, there's not many that'll be transparent about this. And this is why I try to keep it as real with you as possible. Even professional traders that's been doing this for nearly a decade, we take losses. Okay, it's part of the game. Okay, so I took a loss here, with it all within risk management, 1R, loss, done, move on. Then obviously we're coming in on Monday, and this is when I'm doing the stream here. Now the thing about these kind of moves here, and this is what catches a lot of people offside, it's a thin move. It's a thin move, straight line. Straight line up. Okay, people love this in crypto, and I comment on this all the time. Right, you can see here, this is the move up on TPO. Okay. Came sideways, and then just one big push up. We created a load of single prints, so nice trending day, yep, great. But what that means is, if we start coming back through this move, because it's so thin that there's no support created on the way down, so we can go up through this and back down through this just as quick. Okay, so this is what happens. So you had all the emotional little sausages on Twitter, You know, all your influencers, your cryptos of the world, your moon cars of this world, your rovers, all getting you to FOMO long and up and leverage longs up here. Chase the move, and then what happens? As soon as traditional markets open, then we get the drop. So obviously the drop here was really nice as well. I was on a live stream with Cake at the time. We saw some significant bearish CVD divergence. Now, for those that don't know what that means, it means that these people were aggressively pressing market long. Now, I always say this same thing. What are the participants trying to do? Well, they're trying to long it at market. So in theory, that should be moving price, but it's not moving price. So what does that mean? That means you've got some bigger players, bigger limit sells in this region holding price down. Okay? I'm not going to start talking about manipulation and all that crap like everyone likes to throw about, because that's just an excuse why you lost. Okay? But all it means is the participants, the bigger participants, want price to come down. So therefore, all these aggressive market longs are just getting absorbed. What does that mean? Well, it means there's a short trigger. Because all you do, nice and simple, you come up into the golden pocket, into the yearly open, that level that I specifically talked about on Sunday night with the members, and then you drop from there. Okay, really nice trade, that really nice and simple, nothing complex about that trade. The trigger with this was order flow. CVD is brilliant to use, okay, but you've got to understand how to use it. So many read this wrong. Okay, we got that drop down. Okay, back into range lows. Look at this. That same range low, got a nice bounce off that. Then it came lower. Now, this is where I wasn't very confident down here. Okay, wasn't very confident in this region. I was telling the guys, I'm not really happy now that it's lost monthly open. I ideally want to see monthly hold. And you can see here, we tagged back into it, could not get back above monthly open. In the end, New York came online, dropped down, and then that's when we started showing some strength. Now, once again, down here, I'm updating the team that I've taken a scalp long here. Again, I'm treating this as a scalp. I'm not expecting this to fully run. Because we're in a zone underneath this green range, I'm still not massively confident in this. So I'm being very transparent with the guys. So I'm treating it as a scalp initially until proven otherwise. So, but we had bull divergences. Okay, now once again, this is not RSI. This is all down to CVD. So what's happening down here, just like what happened up here, where people are chasing it and thinking it's going to go up forever, you get the momentum traders turn up. So they're using one of these crap little indicators that give you a magic green dot or a magic red dot. And they're all of a sudden getting triggered up here saying, oh yeah, few bullish candles, that means it continues going. So it's called a momentum trade. Okay, momentum traders get wrecked more times than not, because the market goes sideways more times than it trends. So in the end, this came down. Down here, momentum traders, once again, people start shorting down here. Why are they shorting down here? Well, because you've broken out a range low. So therefore, they're shorting. They're aggressively shorting this. But the same thing happened again. We've got divergences. So therefore, bigger limit orders were holding this up. So what were they trying to do? They're trying to drive price down. Are they doing a good job? No. So therefore, we get the bounce underway. Okay, so this is then what brings us up. Now, as this is coming up, I'm telling the guys, nice reaction here, naked VWAP and golden pocket. So once again, fib from the high to the low, you're coming in to that golden pocket, and you've got a naked VWAP here as well, which is from Monday. Okay, so this here is good enough for me to say, right, I'm going to scalp short this, but all I did in my case was add back into this position here. Okay, so therefore, this is technically not my entry. My entry was actually up here, slightly above, and it was already risk-free once I entered this because I'm adding back into an old position, so it's nice and easy. Obviously, I'd already taken profits, significant profits off this, but I do leave a little bit open, okay, for situations like this. I knew I wanted to short this level if I got a reaction, okay? But once again, I'm going to be transparent on this one, and I actually gave a lot of this back because I wanted this to come down lower. I was actually looking on this trade here for price to come into daily open. Now at the time, daily open, let's just mark this out. Let's find out where it was. Let's go back. And this candle here, there's daily open. So I wanted this to come down to daily open. And it front run my level. And then started to come back up. And it wasn't until I was back at my desk and I realised that price was all the way back up here that I then manually closed out. So I gave a lot of this back. And that's fine because it happens. Okay, I took a loss here. And I gave a lot of this one back. It happens. It's no problem. Okay. So at the moment now, I'm still sat in this trade. I have taken significant profits. the rest is now running. It's completely risk-free. There is no risk of this. I'm trailing my stops, and I'm still sat in the swing short from up here. So I'm hedged. Okay, I'm comfortable now. I don't care what direction the market goes. Now, speaking of that, what happens next? Okay, there's a couple of major levels that I want you to be aware of, and it's the only real major levels that I'm paying attention to as it stands right now. So I'm going to do that same volume profile so you can see this. Okay, so a volume profile across the whole top range. You've got the actual range drawn on here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a fib from here to here. And I'm just going to make it less noisy by throwing it on the old 7861. And then I'm also going to do exactly the same down at the bottom from here to here. For me right now, I'm on the fence, okay, on direction. And that's fine. We're either in some sort of three-wave move this way that could continue running, or this was a three-wave move, and then this is the start of something new. Does that mean I've got something actionable to work with that there? No, it doesn't. So now I'm quite happy to sit back and wait. Is this long going to pay me? Or is this short going to pay me more? But in between that, this right here, for me, is a major sticky zone. Major sticky zone. Just like this down here is a major sticky zone. Now, anything in between that, I'm not really bothered about. Anything in between that is just a scalp or an intraday at best. I'm not really bothered about that until I start to get some clarity. So if we do move up into this major sticky zone and it gets a nice reaction and then gives me my entry trigger, then yes, I will look for a new short. If it moves up into this zone and carries on pushing through, then I won't be taking a short. It's as simple as that. I don't leave any limits here. You know, I want to see price needs to get into my area of interest. I want to see a nice reaction. I want to see my entry trigger, and then I'll take a trade. And if it doesn't give me those things, then I sit back and wait patiently, and I'll wait for my next level. If it gets above that, well, where do you think it's probably going to go next? Well, you got this 786 up here, lining up with the value area high. Do we get a reaction up here? Yeah, cool. Right, I'll take a shot. If not, I'll sit back and wait. Most likely, at that point, for a new all-time high. Does that mean if it gets above here, it definitely comes up here? No, there's still intermediate levels in between. But for now, bigger picture, these are the main levels that I'm aware of. Now, what happens if we come up here and then reject, or we just start to roll at some point, which we can do. Bear in mind, the stock market's not looking that healthy right now. Well, if we come back down and we start to lose range lows and monthly open, then quite frankly, I'll quite happily sit back and either wait for something to develop in here, which I'm not massively confident in, as I've said before, because it's a thin area, or I'll happily wait until between 66 and 72. And then once again, down here, what happens? Do we come into this and start to then change some structure? Start to get a nice reaction? Yeah, cool. Right, I'll look for long triggers. Again, I've got all the time in the world. I'm patient. I'm quite happy to be patient, because if I don't get a trigger within this, I won't be taking a trade. If that doesn't hold within this region and it starts dropping down lower, great, cool. Well, we're just back to trading this old range. And we'll just play it level to level. Really simple. Really simple. Nothing complex within this. If we drop all the way through this range, what happens at range low? Okay. But again, it's if. If this, then that. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody in this market has a crystal ball. Anyone that tells you they definitely know what's going to happen next is talking out of their arsehole. Okay? Be very careful who you're following at the moment, especially when the market is going sideways and slightly down. This is when your influencers get exposed. Influencers are great in this part of the market and this part of the market, because everyone's a genius in a really strong uptrending environment. But once markets slow down and go sideways, this is where your influencers stand out and they look like clowns. Okay? And people continue to blindly follow them, just like they did on Sunday's pump. Be very careful who you're paying attention to. Okay? Hopefully you've learned something today. Seize your biases.